All right. Good afternoon. I'll give you an injury update here. So Vaughn will not practice, still under PUP. And then Micah will not practice, dealing with a few things there, in particular his back. So with that, I'll turn it over to you with your questions.
You said back with Micah?
Is that something that's come up recently, Sean, or has it been dealing with that for a while?
I guess the last couple of days or so, yeah.
Do you anticipate that being a long-term thing or something that could potentially keep him out of the game?
We're just taking it one day at a time right now, yeah.
Hey, Sean, their defense last year gave you obviously a lot of trouble in those two games, and now they're talking about they could be a historic defense this season. Can you kind of quantify how good their defense really is?
Yeah, they've got a talented roster, good coaching staff, and I think their general manager, Joe Douglas, has done a nice job of putting the roster together. And then adding Aaron this year, and then you already mentioned their defensive line is outstanding, and that'll be a big challenge for us.
What happened? Had a guy like Trey White who's been a lockdown cornerback. Sauce Gardner's that guy for them. What did you see that was so good from him last year as a lockdown corner?
Yeah, it's so hard to come in as a rookie in this league at any position, let alone corner, and have success, and do what he did at his level, at that level. So, he was off to a great start last season, and it looks good in preseason again.
Sean, you mentioned obviously the addition of Rodgers, which is going to be has been a headline and will be heading into this game. How much does that, as you prepare now, change the dynamic of this matchup?
Well, I think he's just another addition with a future Hall of Fame quarterback, right? They've already had a talented roster, as I mentioned, and now they added a future Hall of Fame quarterback, a guy who we have a lot of respect for. He's extremely smart, veteran, as we all know, and he's tough to go against.
Is this something you're smiling here when you're talking about Aaron Rodgers. This is your first time back as a defensive play caller. To enjoy the challenge of going up against an established guy like that as back as DC?
Well, they're not easing me in, that's for sure. He's a big challenge, and again, they're a good football team overall, and it'll be a big challenge for us at their place in particular.
Sean, have you made a decision on who will start at linebacker next to Matt?
Yeah, so Terrell Bernard will start next to Matt Milano.
How did you come to that? I mean, he didn't get much practice time in preseason. How did you kind of get to that position there?
Well, we thought he did some good things when he was healthy and available, and unfortunately, that situation, that competition got cut a little bit short due to an injury. But we're confident in TB, and I'm excited to watch him play. And he's got to take it one play at a time.
Cornerback next to Trey or opposite Trey?
Christian will start. Yeah.
And Ricard?
Saibo will start.
What did Torrance do to have to separate himself from Ryan Bates at that right spot?
Well, I'll start with Ryan. He's a really good football player. There was nothing Ryan didn't do. It was more of Saibo coming in as a young player and, again, taking it one play at a time and having a workman-like approach to his game early on in spring and then in training camp again, and thought he handled himself well. And but just like Christian, TB and now Saibo, they're all young players that are a little bit inexperienced at this point, but we're confident in them, and let's take it one play at a time. It's not an individual game; it's a team game.
What about Christian set him apart to get that starting job for CB2?
Again, over the course of spring and training camp, he was on his assignments. I think he contested balls and made some interceptions. Made some plays on the balls as well. So, take it one play at a time.
And Sean, for a rookie tight end, there's a lot on their plate running pass-wise. How is Kincaid translating learning that to do it on the field so far in preseason?
He's done a nice job. Done a nice job. Again, he's come in and he's been in his playbook. He's in early, stays late. A real pro so far.
And going back to being that role. How much do you find that through the past 5 seasons and the role and the input you had in on offense has benefited you maybe to get that perspective as a head coach, has benefited you in your, going back to DC in that sense?
Well, you try and be a student of the game, and sometimes you get an opportunity to go and learn on the other side of the ball. Sometimes you don't. We'll start some of our young coaches on the other side and then switch them over to try and do some of that once in a while where and when we can. So, when I've gotten an opportunity to do that now in this seat as the head coach, I've enjoyed learning from some really good coaches on the other side of the ball and just trying to be a sponge.
What was the thought process of changing the banners in the field house to putting a Lombardi trophy there with that new slogan?
It was just really about us trying to keep our goals in front of ourselves at all times and just taking things one day at a time.
This Jets offense has a new coordinator, new quarterback, but obviously there's plenty of film on both. You've seen the supporting pieces. How well can knowing the individual pieces prepare you for seeing them all together for the first time?
On their offense, you said?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's there's some unknowns because there's not a whole lot on film of Aaron with Coach Hackett, and they've both been around each other, but never in the 2 seats that they currently occupy with the OC and the quarterback. So it's been a little bit of a challenge for us in terms of trying to find what we should watch and how long we should watch it. So just trying to be fundamentally sound in what we do and know that we're up for a big challenge.
Sean, there were a couple special teams miscues in the preseason. How much can that be attributed? Maybe guys, you're trying to put them in roles to see what they can do. It might not be what they normally do. And how much do you have to kind of clean that up and button up going into the regular season?
Right. You never like to see any of those miscues, regardless of who's in there and whether they're making the team or not. But the urgency that has to follow that or really precedes it going forward is what's important. And I've seen that the last couple of days from our special teams coaches and our leaders on special teams.
What kind of challenge for Terrell just not having the game experience going into week 1 and calling the things? I know you emphasize the communication part and the leadership part. Like, what confidence do you have in him? What has he shown that he can do that without having game experience in the preseason?
Well, he's an extremely smart young man. He has good football instincts. The game makes sense to him. He works extremely hard. He's got the respect of his teammates all around him. And again, it's not a individual sport. It's a team sport. So, he'll just be 1/11th of the overall operation out there.
Did you guys embrace playing the Monday night game as the start of the year against a big division rival, big quarterback, a lot of the attention, or is it just another game to you guys?
Well, it's the most important game for us because it's the game we're playing this week, and we have a lot of respect certainly for the Jets and their coaching staff, and it'll be pretty special to memorialize the 9/11 situation, and I remember all the people that gave their lives for this country. And so to be on the field in New York City on 9/11, I think is special, regardless if it's Monday night or whenever it is. And so we're very grateful for that opportunity.
Sean, the 9/11 thing obviously sets it apart, but I would ask that question maybe from a different perspective. With all the primetime games that you've played in recent years, with the success that you've had, do you get a sense that your locker room is fully prepared for whatever the environment or that type of thing, based on experience?
Well, we'll see. I mean, we've got some work to do this week. So it's a new team, right? It's a new team, and we've got some experienced guys, and yet we've got some inexperienced guys that are going to be playing roles for us here. So you learn a lot about your team when you go through situations like this, and so we just continue to take it 1 week at a time, and in this case, one play at a time.
Sean, you clearly have very capable backups, in particular at cornerback. So Benford gets the start. How do you walk the line of, you got to show Benford that you have the confidence in him, but at the same time, you know that you've got guys who can step in and do the job still at any point in the game?
Well, I think if I understand your question, I think that's what training camp and the spring OTAs and preseason are for. Really, is that competition, but the competition continues. It's just the nature of really the NFL, right? You take it one play at a time, and you control what you can, and you're going to go out there and you're going to have some good plays, and you're going to have unfortunately, some plays you want back. And that's just that when you're young, you're going to have to grow on the run.
Do you ever worry about a player looking over his shoulder?
I think if you're focused on the right thing, if you're focused on where you need to be and what you need to be focused on, you don't have time to look over your shoulder. You've got to focus on what's right in front of you.
The significance of 9/11 and the importance of that and it being a primetime game. How it bookends the last Monday night game. You played with Damar Hamlin, possibly, however much time he plays. If he does, I mean, what the relevance of that, knowing that you went from one Monday night and here you are opening the season with Damar Hamlin being healthy and on the roster.
Yeah, pretty amazing. Again, extremely proud of Damar and the work that he's put in. Incredible journey to get back to where he is currently, and just super proud of him.